You wanted answers. You demanded the truth. And now the truth is staring you right in the face, and it's uglier, more dangerous, and more explosive than anyone imagined. Because what happened at Saturday night's main event wasn't just a return, it wasn't just a stare down, it wasn't just another chapter in a rivalry. It was a warning. When Roman Reigns stood in that ring, when Seth Rollins stepped into the shadows, and when that mystery man finally revealed himself, the entire foundation of power inside WWE cracked. And if you think this is just about betrayal, you're not paying attention. Let me ask you something right now before we go any further. Who do you trust more, Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins? Drop it in the comments. No fence-sitting. Because by the time we're done here, you might change your answer. The tension didn't start at SNME. It didn't start last week. It didn't even start this year. This goes back over a decade. Two men, one brotherhood, one chair shot that rewrote history, and a rivalry that never, ever, truly died. When Roman Reigns walked back into the spotlight at Saturday night's main event, the energy shifted instantly. The crowd wasn't just loud, they were divided. Half acknowledging the tribal chief, half waiting, anticipating, knowing something was off. And then the camera cut backstage. A hooded figure, standing still, watching the monitors, not moving, not speaking, just observing. Quick trivia for you. What year did the Shield officially debut on the main roster? Comment the year below, no Googling. Because that hooded silhouette? It felt familiar. And that's when the speculation exploded. Was it a returning legend? Was it a new Paul Heyman-backed enforcer? Was it someone from Roman's past? Or worse, was it someone from Seth's? As the night unfolded, Roman cut a promo that felt calculated, not emotional, not explosive. Calm, controlled, strategic. He talked about legacy, about loyalty, about how everyone eventually acknowledges him. But did you notice what he didn't say? He didn't mention Seth Rollins. Not once. And in wrestling, silence is louder than insults. The crowd started chanting. You know the chant. Roman smirked. And then the lights dimmed. Not a full blackout. Just enough to shift attention. And there he was. Seth Rollins. No theatrics. No flamboyant entrance. Just slow steps toward the ring. Eyes locked. No blinking. Now pause for a second. Who do you think has betrayed the other more times throughout their careers? Roman or Seth? Drop your vote below. Because what happened next wasn't chaos. It was psychological warfare. Seth didn't attack. Roman didn't charge. They stood inches apart. History between them thicker than steel. And then, that hooded figure walked onto the stage. The crowd erupted. Camera zoomed in. The hoodie dropped. And the arena lost its mind. The mystery man wasn't a rookie. It wasn't a returning Hall of Famer. It wasn't some random muscle. It was someone strategically placed. Someone connected. Someone who had history with both men. And the moment Roman's expression changed, you knew this wasn't part of his plan. Let me ask you something small but important. Did Roman look surprised, or did he look betrayed? Because there's a difference. The mystery man stepped closer to Seth. Not Roman. That was the first clue. Seth didn't smile. Didn't celebrate. He just nodded once. A silent understanding. And suddenly the narrative shifted. For years, Roman has controlled the board. Moved pieces. Sacrificed pawns. Built an empire. Manipulated alliances. But this felt like Seth moving the king into check. Now here's where it gets deeper. If you rewind the segment frame by frame, Roman's body language tells a different story. His shoulders squared defensively, not aggressively. His eyes kept shifting between Seth and the mystery man. That's not dominance. That's calculation under pressure. And when Roman grabbed the mic, the crowd expected fury. Instead, he laughed. A low, dismissive laugh. But here's another quick one for you. When Roman laughs during a promo, does it usually mean he's confident or cornered? Because his next words were chilling. You think you've outplayed me? Not you've betrayed me. Not you've made a mistake. You think. That choice of words matters. Seth finally spoke. And what he said sent shockwaves. You built your empire on broken brothers. Let that sink in. Broken brothers. The Shield reference wasn't accidental. The crowd exploded again. And the mystery man? Still silent. Still watching. Almost like an executioner waiting for the signal. Roman's response? You were the architect, but I finished the blueprint. That line alone deserves its own breakdown. Because Roman wasn't denying the past. He was redefining it. And that's the key to understanding this entire situation. Roman sees himself as evolution. Seth sees himself as origin. And the mystery man? He represents consequence. Think about it. Every empire eventually collapses from within. And what's the one thing Roman's reign has been built on? Control. So what happens when he loses it? Here's a trivia question for you. How many times have Roman and Seth headlined a major premium live event against each other? Drop the number below. Because this isn't just another match brewing. This feels like a war. The tension escalated when the mystery man finally stepped forward and whispered something to Seth. We couldn't hear it, but Roman could see it. And that visual alone shifted the power dynamic. Seth smirked. Roman's jaw tightened. The crowd sensed it. And just when it looked like fists were about to fly, Roman stepped back. Not retreating. Repositioning. Strategic. Always strategic. He dropped the mic, left the ring, and walked past the mystery man without even glancing at him. That's not fear. That's long game thinking. But here's the part nobody's talking about. Why now? Why reveal this alliance at Saturday night's main event? Why not wait until a bigger stage like WrestleMania 40? Unless this is just phase 1. And that's where things get truly dangerous. Because if Seth Rollins has aligned himself with someone who knows Roman's weaknesses, someone who understands his patterns, then the tribal chief isn't just facing a challenger. He's facing exposure. Roman's entire persona thrives on inevitability. The idea that no matter what happens, he wins. But what if inevitability has finally met unpredictability? Let's break down motivations. Seth has always operated from chaos. Roman operates from order. The mystery man? He operates from silence. And silence is the most dangerous weapon in this business. Because while everyone debates what happened, he's already planning what's next. Do you think this alliance is temporary or the start of something much bigger? Comment temporary or takeover below. Because there's another layer. Paul Heyman wasn't present. And that absence was deafening. No strategist at Roman's side. No advocate whispering in his ear. Just Roman. Alone. When was the last time we truly saw Roman without backup? Exactly. That vulnerability, even if slight, changes everything. Seth, on the other hand, looked calm. Not manic. Not theatrical. Focused. Like a man who's been waiting for this exact moment. And that tells me this wasn't spontaneous. This was months in the making. Let's go deeper. Remember when Seth once said Roman needs the machine behind him? What if this mystery man represents Seth building his own machine? Equal force. Equal power. Equal intimidation. Because Roman's dominance was never just about strength. It was about perception. If you believe he can't lose, you've already lost. But at SNME, for the first time in a long time, he looked human. Not weak, but challenged. And that's more dangerous than anger. Here's something small. Did you notice the crowd reaction was louder for Seth's smirk than Roman's promo? That's momentum shifting. And momentum is everything. Imagine the possibilities now. Tag team confrontation? Triple threat power struggle? Civil war storyline? Or the ultimate betrayal? Because let's not forget, Seth Rollins is historically the master of turning on allies. So here's the ultimate question. Is the mystery man a weapon or bait? Because what if this is all part of a larger trap? What if Roman expects betrayal? What if he's allowing Seth to think he has the advantage? Mind games within mind games. That's the level we're operating at now. And if this does lead to a showdown on the grandest stage, it won't just be about championships. It'll be about legacy, about who truly carried the faction, about who really evolved, about who betrayed who first. Quick challenge for you. If Roman and Seth face off one more time, who should turn heel in that story? Or should they both stay exactly as they are? Because double dynamic storytelling is rare. But this rivalry thrives on blurred lines. Let's talk symbolism. The hood, the silence, the positioning on the stage instead of the ramp. Those aren't accidents. That's visual storytelling. The mystery man stood elevated above both Roman and Seth at first. Power symbolism. Then descended. Equalizing. Then stood beside Seth. Alignment. And Roman leaving first?